Today we're going to start a job, maybe even finish it. That would surprise me. We have a set of headers, Manzo headers here. So bent pipe headers with a couple of bungs on them. So this is for my O2 sensors. I'm going to be using this one here, which is just before the flange that goes on to the next pipe, for my primary or first O2 sensor. So this will give the motor the information that it needs to have to do the mixtures. And the second part is here, high flow cats on the secondary tube. This will, I guess, this way for this one. And you see there's a bung on this one here after the secondary high flow cat. Well, I say secondary just because it's normally secondary on the Boxster, but in fact this will be the only cat because the headers are straight pipes. So I don't know whether this is going to give me a proper reading. I have a tune on the car now. My tuner said that he can adjust things when I put this one in. He can adjust things so that I get codes and no cell. I hate seeing that on the dash. That thing that pops up right now because my cats that I have on it are finished, and so I keep clearing it because it bugs me. But I know it's there, and then it goes the cell keeps popping back up. So we'll get rid of that, and this will should give me that little extra oomph that'll go with my tune and my the intake modification that I did that you see on another video. So let's get at it. So my first step was to loosen these off, the diagonal braces. I undid the bolts except for the one right near the front of the car, just because now I can just swing this aside. And this should give me enough access to get the pipe out and everything like that, and it also gives me more access to these bolts. I also, of course, took off the plate. Let's see what this thing here, this whatever it's lozenge shaped plate in aluminum, the brace that fits generally here underneath the transmission. And so this, now I've got access here. I shot up a bit of WD-40 up there. I don't know whether I didn't have anything else. I figure it's better than nothing. I'm hoping that we're going to have no trouble getting these those bolts off. The bolts, these, see if you can see them up in here. That's for the manifold. It's funny, looking at this manifold now, you see how small these pipes are, and coming in this funny little three-legged fitting here, and then going in straight into this first cat, and one can see how much restriction is in these. This is the North American car, of course, in this system. So hopefully this is going to, with the bigger pipes flowing right through to this fitting here, and then after that, this is the, if you remember, if you saw my other video about putting on this pipe here, this secondary cat delete video. Now I'm going to be taking this back out because I'm going to be replacing it with the one with the high flow cat. Since I'm eliminating the main cat in the front here, I'm going to need the secondary, which will be my primary cat back here. This is sort of like the European model, where it has only has this cat back here. But this is what I'm putting in, of course, is it's a bigger tube and a high flow cat, 200 cell cat. Hopefully everything will work fine. I took off this first pipe from the flange here back to the muffler clamp back here. It came out really easily. Had no trouble at all getting it out. Now what I have to do is, because I want to take off the headers here, and of course there's the O2 sensor, the front O2 sensor here, and the secondary, the rear O2 sensor after cat here. So first, of course, what I have to do now is I have to get up in there, and I have to, whoops, there goes my flashlight. Anyway, I have to undo that clip up there, and undo the other clip before turning these out, otherwise these will just twist and twist, so that's not very good for them. I want to reuse these ones. Okay, so I've loosened off. Actually, I took the first one out, the first bolt out. They all loosened off. I can't believe how. I said, this is too easy. There's got to be something wrong. I got to be doing something wrong. They came out beautifully, well, loosened off beautifully. So I expect I shouldn't have any trouble. Hopefully, the other side will go just as well. Well, there had to be one. Okay, so I've loosened off all the bolts, and this one here. What do we see here? We see a broken bolt. Broke right inside. Okay, so I got that old header off, and maybe I'm going to be lucky, because I see here is that I still have some of the stud hanging out here. So maybe if I can get some, I don't know, I'm going to shoot it up with some WD-40 and see if I can get the vice grips on there. I'd like to be able to get that out without having to re-tap everything. Okay, let's go. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that obviously didn't work. So what I've done is the stub there, which I tried to grab with my vice grips, and I heated it up and I did all sorts of things. Finally, I figured it wasn't going to work, so I took my my Dremel multi-tool here and cut with a tungsten blade or carbide blade. Cut it off flush with the this part here, and drilled it out. And now I've got a tap in here, and I'm very carefully tapping, retapping, and I bought a new bolt, and I'm going to replace that. Hopefully it's going to work well. It's not easy to do, and of course there's all these stuff like this in the way, so you really can't get a good purchase on it. This thing is, I got this kind of small. Maybe if I had a better tool, but boy, I buy so many tools. And I even just the other day I bought, if you're going to be drilling this, out an old stud, I'll tell you one thing is you need a very good drill bit. And I went and bought a set of Cobalt, they're Milwaukee, I think, brand, Cobalt drill bits, and that made all the difference in the world. I'd been working at it with this titanium drill bits, and oh my God, you just turns around and around and around. This way with the Cobalt, it just drove right in, really, really easy, nice sharp bits, and that made life a lot easier. Now if I can just get it tapped out, and I should be good to continue with the assembly. Okie doke, let's go. This guy up here. See if I can get it up here. Okay, so here we are. We've got this one in. I just put this the back pipe in, and I see that we have a lot of play here. See that? That's she's got a 3/8 of an inch over here to 0 on that side, and the top's fairly open too. I'm going to start tightening this up. I don't know whether back here, this thing here, which will slip out a little bit, hopefully, to when I start tightening this up, because it's not a good mating here. I'm just hoping I'll be able to pull it together. We'll see. Okay, well, there we go. The bolts are, they're pretty sturdy bolts here, and in the end, it took me a while to get them in, but I think it looks pretty good. It looks like it's pretty well sealed. Okay, so now I'm going to splice this guy here. This is one of the old O2 sensors, and I'm going to splice that onto this O2 sensor. The idea is to make my cable longer because I was hoping that the longer cable, the back cable, would be long enough to use as a front cable, but as it turns out it's not. So I have to make it longer, so I'm going to splice these together for my front one, and I'll make a new extension for the back behind the cats. It's quite long. It's actually about 2 feet long, so it's it's quite a long wire. So here's the spliced cable ready to go in, 2 feet long roughly, and let's hope it works. Haha. Okay, so there it is in place. After the high flow cat, you see the yellow line going up there, and let me see, we can bring you over here, and it goes up under there and clips up in its usual space. Now what I've done here is I've found a place up here on the heat shield. It has these little screws that hold it on. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I've just put, I'm sorry about the shaky camera, just put a bit of, galvanized wire and wrapped it around that, and wrapped it a few times around here, so that it's floating just a, half an inch off of the heat shield and doesn't touch anything. So hopefully we're good. Feels punchy. Little noises. I'm not used to it. It's a little right around between 3,000 and 4,000 is a good good show. Negotiate some traffic here. Saturday afternoon, 5:30, lots of people shopping. Really looking forward to see what what the cats look like on the barometric. Okay, let's get out of here. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please click the subscribe button and leave any comments below.